my live stream. Where's my live stream? Hi, Paolo, how are you? Sorry, I am late. Starting today, I was a little distracted. But I'm working on this piece. Just getting out some references. So I heard back from my client, and we're gonna use a shagreen snail, or a shagreen snail, which is an endangered snail species that has been largely extirpated from the area we're in. So I'm just going to, but has recently been spotted fairly close to where we live and where these photos were taken. So we're doing a little endangered snail here. I'm actually going to include, this was going to be a shadow, but the way I am facing this snail, I think it works best if I tuck it in right here. I am just using sorry, go back to here, this one. I wanted it along the side here, along the side, there. Then I want this one over here, and I take this whole thing and put it over there. Let's get a closer look, like maybe this one. There's my good eraser. So I don't often use pencil, but there are times where it comes in handy. Hi, Stephen. Things are mostly good, yeah. Chronic illness is still a thing, but adjusting my meds definitely helped, so I definitely have a lot more energy now than I've had in past months. My brain is more present. So I reduced a prescription about like I adjusted a dose, but 6 weeks ago. And so it's pretty clear that that has had the effect I hoped it would. So that's good. Other than that, a lot of news work-wise. Sorry, I'm looking for my brown pen that I was using for this piece that I put somewhere. My desk is such a mess. My desk is such a mess. I need my brown pen. There it is. Okay. Hi, Lana. Anyway, so lots of news professionally. So there's a local gallery, Button Factory Arts. That's a community arts center, and they have a gallery, and they're under new management. So they had previous staff, and they've flipped over almost all their staff. Their executive director, their programs coordinator, both switched in September. Now, the previous executive director had booked me a show for On the Skin of Giants that was supposed to be in January. But due to illness, I was going to delay that. And that director ran things very casually, shall we say. So when she left, she didn't really transfer over the information for that show to the new director, and I needed to change the date. So I spoke to the new director about changing the date, and she was overwhelmed, and basically I had given up on that show even happening because it didn't seem like the new director was rescheduling this show. I had completely given up, but it turns out they did in fact eventually get back to me. And so I have an On the Skin of Giants show opening July 26th at a local gallery, which means I need to get my act together and get those pieces all finished and framed, and hopefully get a few more pieces, because I've been a little slow going with illness and stuff. Has my pen dried out? It isn't working the way I hoped it would. Let me just... Unimpressed. Okay, wait. Okay, that's working better now. One moment, I will be right back. then the button factory always confused me. It seemed to be a fair effort to even donate some art supplies. People didn't really get back to you. That has been my frustration with the button factory, is it seems to be across management. It does seem to depend who you contact. So their current program director, Linda Brine, definitely has always been, she's always gotten back to me immediately, like within a day, no matter what the discussion is, but that is one person. Their previous program director was somewhat more reliable. Both executive directors, so the previous executive director, Heather, as well as the current executive director, Emma, I mean, I know Heather is a friend. I know for Heather it's a personality thing. I mean, she's like me. She struggles with ADHD and chronic illness, and she's just overwhelmed. Like, she's an overwhelmed person. Given my experiences since then with the new executive director, Emma, I think that it might also have to do with, like, the button factory itself, like something about how things are organized, the workload, the something, because Emma, I know, came in very frustrated with that and wanting to fix it, and my experience with Emma has been that it's exactly the same. That trying to get in touch with the executive director does not work. So, I mean, I don't, personal limited experience, they are trying to fix that, I think. But yeah, it's an interesting, there's some interesting, something going on there. Is this bleeding so much? Because this paper is just, it's doing weird things. Why is my paper doing such weird things? Maybe I'm gonna zoom in. Sorry, I'm gonna tab away from here for a moment, so give me a moment. I am going to zoom into here. And then like that, like this. Anyway, yes, so Button Factory has definitely had struggles in the past, and I don't know, it's a little unclear to me how much of that is just the people who happen to be running it and how much is something deeper. Because it does seem to transcend management. But they are very local, and they've got a nice little space, so I am very excited to have a show opening. You know, it's been a while since I've been active in the show world. But it did take some doing, and so like that. Okay. And then let's give this little guy a body. I can give you a little bit of a tail up here. It's a little tail up here. Just a little bit. Tail. And a little bit of I don't know why there's something up with this ink or my pen or my paper or something. It just seems to be feathering a lot. Did you know that all snails have the swirl on the same side and it's super hard to find one that is on the other? Yes, and I have a very unique snail on my... I have a very unique snail tattoo right here, which is reversed. And we're aware that it's reversed. Sorry. Oh, let's get this properly up. Put my foot on my desk. But I have a snail tattoo, and the polarity is reversed, the spiral is reversed, and this is not because I found a very unique snail, it's because the artist drew the snail the right way around, but the way that the printing on the transfer works for the tattoo, it flips it. So she would have to flip it twice if she wanted to have... Yeah, I have a snail tattoo from a residency, a group residency that I did last year. One of the other residents does hand-poke tattoos, so I have a hand-poked little eastern banded snail on my leg, but it's reversed. It turns out that snails with the shell reversed, they function just like they're born, they're normal, they function just like normal snails, except they can't reproduce. Except with other snails that also have their shell reversed, because apparently it's something about like all their everything is then reversed. So, yeah. Oh, we discussed it. Like, we knew it was going to come out reversed before I got it tattooed. It's not a mistake. Like, as she was drawing the snail and talking about where it was going to go and, like, putting just the sample. Like, yeah. So, as she was figuring out placement and stuff, we both realized that it was going to come out reverse, and she was like, should I reverse it back? And I decided to just, no, I'm just going to have a unique snail. It's a fun story. But yes, yeah, it's not a mistake. It is backwards. I have a snail with a backwards shell tattooed on my leg. Yeah. It was partially because, I mean, I guess it was somewhat of a mistake because I wanted the snail coming forward. Like, I wanted it facing forward so that its head was coming up, you know, along to the front of my leg. So we could have mirrored it, but then it would be going backwards along my leg. Whatever. It's the sort of thing that I would have regretted if I hadn't figured it out before I got it tattooed on me. Because I knew going in, it's like now it's a story, and it's a story that was planned. And I don't know why that makes a difference, but it does. And yeah. So yeah, I do have a very unique snail. It's a little mutant snail, and it makes it special. I actually imagine that there's quite a few people out there with the unique snail, the mirrored snail, because it's very easy in the same way as like when you're taking photos on a selfie, you'll get the reverse. It's the same sort of thing where, like, I imagine that actually when it comes to people getting their tattoos designed, that although it's rare in nature, that actually it's common in tattoos, but mine is deliberate. Mine is deliberately the weird snail. Okay, this looks really messy, but it's going to look less messy when I'm done painting it, hopefully. So yeah, I have a lonely snail on my leg. Apparently, it was like some rescue or zoo or something had gotten their hands on an inverted snail, and at one point there was an effort to find another snail with an inverted, like another snail of the same species with an inverted shell, because they function just fine, same as normal snails, but they cannot reproduce except with other inverted snails, so it just never, it doesn't it's not a lasting change, right? Like there's a selection towards snails that have their shell the normal way. There we go. Okay, I need to refill my water and then I will be right back. And I also need to quiet some things that are beeping at me. And yeah, I guess this can be added to the number of times I've done a live stream on my desk and ended up with some reason with my feet on my desk. Yeah, one of them was, I guess, to show off my snail tattoo. I really like it. I'll be right back. I just need to swap out some water. Well, anyway, yes, also, no, next week, but the week after, I am heading up north to do another residency at Porphyry Island. So, yeah, I will have a very busy couple months between this let's see. Let me see here. Where did my Snately reference go? Oh, not that. Huh? So yes, I did make sure that on this, I do have a snail with the polarity correct. It is spiraled the right way. Even though in other contexts I do have, yeah, I feel like this snail, because it is already choosing an endangered snail, so I'm not going to do a snail that's endangered and also somehow has its polarity backwards. That would be too rare. These are important considerations. This. So the snail I'm painting is a Shagine or Shagine Inflectarius inflectus snail. And they're a funny little creature. They have this interesting in some contexts their shell looks like it's got like this downy like fur coating. I think it's largely actually like leaf litter that clings on because the clean samples, like museum samples, do not. But it's kind of neat because it what is up with this paper? Paper's not behaving normally. Bye-bye. Oops, sorry, I'm drifting. And so yes, I am trying to deliberately sort of cross these little dry brush texture things, rather than having ridges going all the same way, because these snails have this weird scratchy coating. Like again, it looks almost furry in some pictures. I'm trying to create that by varying how I'm applying this texture. I'm also using some very granulating paints here. Try to create that texture. So yeah, I have one tattoo and one piercing, and I've gotten them both in the past year. I am 35. I've also never had my hair dyed. I got my nose pierced, the nostril. Don't have a septum or anything. I got my nostril pierced 3 months ago? 2 months ago? Not very long ago. I've wanted to for ages, but like sort of an abstract want. And then depending on what how you're feeling that day, it's either because I got a grant and I was looking for like little whatever, mark the occasion with a little reward for myself, so I got the piercing that I'd wanted since I was a little child. Or alternatively, I had a miscarriage and an identity crisis in late February, so then in early March I got my nose pierced. One of those things, one or both of those is true. Oh, sorry. And the snail tattoo I got last year at a residency. I've liked snails forever. Just a little guy on my ankle. I doubt I'll ever regret it, but it's also pretty out of the way, so we'll see. That was kind of fun. I could totally see getting more tats, but, you know, I think similar to the similar to the piercings, like just because I like something doesn't mean that it's ever, you know, the perfect moment to go get a body mod. Like there always seems to be something in my life that's, you know, more important, more pressing than booking a body mod appointment. So honestly, both of them, like the tattoo, the only reason I got it was because I was at this residency and one of the other artists did tattoos, so she offered us a deal and we were there like for 2 weeks talking about things that are important to us and we care about. She's also kind of obsessed with lichen, but we couldn't figure out. She was really concerned. This is where you like respect someone as an artist, where she was really concerned that if she tattooed, like, I wanted like a realistic lichen tattoo, and she was like, yeah, the problem is, like, if I draw crusties on you, then, you know, that can look really bad, like, that can look diseased. So we're not gonna do, like, you know, she wanted to be really confident that any lichen tattoos that she designs, it's really clear that it's not, like, something crusty growing out of me. Which I respect. I get that. I can see how that would be a problem. So we looked at lichen for a bit, but then because I've always been a little bit obsessed with snails, and so has she, we decided that it would be fun to do a little snail tattoo. So that's what I did. Yeah, did I just make this chat into a bummer by going on about bad news from earlier this year? Sorry. I'm really enjoying this. I think this one would make a really cute card too. So I have my online shop back up, and other than the new palettes, it's all just stuff that I've had in my studio for a while. And I am curious going forward, like what I should get in terms of merch. Like, what should I order? Are people interested in like stickers, prints, cards, like where postcards, because I haven't really gotten stuff made in a while, so I'm finally running low on greeting cards because I had a whole bunch from earlier designs from years and years ago that I hadn't really updated in some time, so it's getting to the point where I really ought to start thinking about new merch, you know, on a more positive topic. And I'm curious what people are interested in. Like, what should I look into? Obviously can't get everything. I do need to get some prints. I'm probably going to do limited edition prints of the sorry, what was I saying? I will probably do limited edition prints of the... What incarnation? Sorry, I'm looking at these other ones. I'm trying to figure out how to match, but I'm not really understanding what the... Okay, I'll worry about that later. Merch? Yeah, merch. So stickers, prints, cards, postcards, tote bags, t-shirts, you know, things I can make with prints of my art. So especially as I'm working on larger pieces and just the costs of doing original art really go up, I imagine that, yeah, original art is probably not within reach of most people as a regular purchase, which is, you know, that sucks, because I would love everyone to get to experience my art. And so eventually, I don't know, I'd love to do books, I'd love to do whatever, but there's also all sorts of other stuff that artists do with, yeah, stickers, prints, cards. I've done cards in the past. I've done really well with cards in the past, but I haven't had cards made with, like, more recent work. The last time I had cards made was probably like 4 years ago, 3 years ago? 3 years ago. Nope, 4 years ago. Last time I had cards made was 4 years ago. I did just recently order some postcards. Oh, I'll show the postcards. One moment. I'll be right back with postcards. I imagine some of your series, like the Daily Leaf, would make great stickers. Yes, so I have a few stickers that I want to make. So in a couple of weeks I'm going back to Porphyry Island, where I did a residency there last year, and while I was there last year I made these two, which I've now had ordered as, like, this is the most recent print order I've done. Sorry, I'm gonna zoom out just a bit. Give me a moment. There we go. And I really enjoyed doing these little, kitschy postcard things. So I think I'm gonna do a bunch more of like various locations, because these just screamed out at me that they wanted to be kitschy postcards, but like now it's just kind of a fun thing. I look around the world and I'm like, ooh, this could be a kitschy postcard too. So this is like much less developed than most of my work, but it's a fun thing. So hoping to do some more of these. They come with little postcard backs. Real cute. So I like these. In terms of other stuff, this guy, my textile design, my lichen. The original is going to get silver leaf on it and is going to be framed and shown. It's getting turned into a textile with all of the different lichens on it, but I feel like I could get like individual stickers of, you know, one of these little lichen patches. That would be cute. There is the Daily Leaf, yes, and there's a few of the Daily Leaf that I think would do well as stickers. I also have other things, so many other things. Okay, where did, gotta find, what's it? Yeah, so like back in the day I'd done prints. I've got these guys. But I want to do limited edition prints of the larger Daily Leaf. Sorry, poking through artwork. This one I feel like is a sticker waiting to happen. I've kind of shied away from stickers, to be honest. I like them, and I even buy stickers from artists sometimes because, you know, that's the merch they have, and I like their art and I want to support them, and they're a cute, well-made product. But I always wonder, like, what do you do with stickers? Because I've never quite figured it out. Let me see. In my stash of stuff. Okay, want my, do I have my work mixed up with other artists now? Probably. I am bad at organizing. If I could figure out how to make this into a sticker, that's also on the list. This I want to make into something, but I don't have a clue what I want to make it into, other than postcards for art directors. That's what I want to make that into. That's why I made it. But I don't know, I feel like it's a bit challenging as merch. Here we go. Here's my little collection of other people's artwork. So I got, oh gosh, what's her name? She goes by Alpine Ayita. I believe her name's actually Helena Smith, Smythe. And she does these really cool lichen paintings that are like mine, but much more colorful. So I got a print from this artist that when my house gets redone, so we're still in the middle of renovation, so I have a big drawer full of artwork that will get hung at some point that I've collected over the past, like 6 years. The food guide would be useful to put on a fridge. So you're saying like a magnet or like print or what? I'm just trying to figure out, like, it was suggested to me as a subject by a nutritionist. So it wasn't a commission, but it was kind of a request. And it jumped out at me as like, yes, that is a useful personal project for on my long list of things that I want to do. I'm not gonna handle it until after my show, but I have wanted to do. Let me get this printout. It's very well wrapped. I'll give her that. So this is just a regular glossy digital print by Helena Smythe. It's beautiful. Love it. But I also got some stickers from her. And it really is this, so I got some, yeah, I also got some stickers from her. These guys. And they're lovely too. And this is very much like the sort of stuff that I could make with a lot of my work. And I can see who would buy it because, like, you know, I just bought some from another artist. But I never know what to do with stickers. And so it's always been awkward to me, like, selling stickers. Like, okay, but what do you do with stickers? Magnet could secure a pad for shopping lists. Okay. Okay, yeah, I see that. So if I got like a large magnet printed in like a square or a circle, just the plate. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. That is useful because I was looking at it and like, I mean, it would kind of be a cute card, but like, what occasion warrants like, you know, hi, happy birthday, here's a food guide. Like that just sounds like you're calling someone unhealthy or fat, right? Like, you can't really do that. It doesn't work as a card. I put them on and in sketchbooks or palettes. I do sometimes stick them on palettes. Food guide is not a good gift indeed, but some might want to get it for themselves. Yeah, like I feel like it could maybe be like kitchen art. Like it is the Canada Food Guide, and I feel like, you know, that is recognizable enough, at least in Canada, that it, you know, there's issues. But, yeah, like I can see, I can actually, I think the fridge magnet idea works. Yes, that does work. Like I could see hanging that on a fridge as a fridge magnet. It's food, But yeah, because I was talking to my assistant and I was like, I don't know, like initially I thought I'd make cards, like it's a cute card, but like it is not a cute card, like message-wise. You don't ever want to give this. Okay, weird marketing idea for the food guide. Rehab centers or nutritionists who might also give info and courses on nutrition might want to sell it or give it to their patients. Yes. So the idea for the food guide was I have a sort of distant family member, Jordan's second cousin or something, who is a nutritionist and was looking at, like, she was interested in buying, like, some kind of, like, vegetable type, like, bright colors, food art for her office, and in that discussion mentioned, would you ever consider doing the Canada Food Guide? And so it wasn't a commission, like, she didn't pay me to do it, she hasn't purchased it, but it was it was just, like, I don't frequently do requests in that way, but I'd been trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I wanted to do something that was very clearly an illustration, but that stands alone. So I wanted to do something that I could send to, like, art directors for editorial, but the problem is with a lot of editorial illustrations, it's very tied to the subject, right, to the writing, and I wanted something that I could just, like, it's recognizable as it is an illustration of something, of a concept, without having to include any information about what it is, so that I can just have just the image and my name and stuff on the front, and then, like, a short little blurb on the back about, like, what this illustration is, but, like, not, if you're sending postcards to editors, like, it's difficult, because you can do, like, fine art things, but if you're doing something that has a message, you know, whatever. It struck that balance perfectly for that very, very specific purpose. So I did it as a personal project, but it was a nutritionist who brought up the idea. And so yes, there is a nutritionist market, obviously. But as far as, yeah, like the broader, you know, private market, not so much. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Ember. Yep, that's definitely something to consider. Now, I think that marketing-wise, that's probably still a little bit of a longer-term goal. Is like reaching out to business, things like nutritionists and stuff, and that might work better if I had a package. Like if I had... because one of the other longer term projects that I'm working on is with community gardens and food security, so if I had more like food focused pieces, then I could maybe be more effective at marketing at nutritionists or restaurants or whatever. Food related, food, nutrition, health related. Commercial clients, and that is definitely something to do, but might not be something that I focus on right away. I think probably in the shorter term, I mean, I can probably get magnets. That's probably something I can just do, but I'm mostly focused, I think, on the fungi and trees and forest floor type stuff, because I can put that simultaneously with my show. I can put that in the gift shop for Button Factory and in a bunch of like gift shop type places, and on my website have sort of merch that ties in with that. So I would get, yeah, like some of my favorite daily leaf paintings as cards. Get some of my get some stuff like this as maybe greeting cards or postcards. Do the limited edition prints, and then maybe some stickers. And that should take care of, yeah, the stuff that I have coming up soon. think I'm gonna give this another little patch of, yeah. I'm gonna give my little snail guy another patch of green over here. It's not an original idea, but I like color wheels or sections done with food, distinguishing beet red from tomato or bell pepper, for example. Yes! So that is a thing that I've gone down that road too. I haven't heard back, but you know that Waterloo does a picnic table project, like an artist project where they commission artists to paint picnic tables. So this is my proposal for this year's project. As you can see, I immediately damaged it with whatever because I scanned it and then it fell onto my studio floor. I haven't been taking very good care of this. This is gonna go get pasted into a sketchbook, but yeah, that has occurred to me, and yeah, I had one of my most popular paintings way back when, like 8 years ago. I did a painting of rainbow carrots, just like laid out in a rainbow. And I've been wanting to do a, you know, a newer, more skilled version of that because the quality on that painting, like, it's a cute idea, but the quality just sucks. I was just not a very good painter. So, you know, it sold really well, but I can't handle looking at it anymore. I got rid of the remaining stock I had, and I've hidden that design at home. And every so often I still get, like, people will mention it, like, oh, can I buy that? Like, please take it off my hands. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not terribly concerned with, like, original ideas. I mean, honestly, nothing is original in art. Nothing's original and everything's original, right? Like, you're never gonna find something that's exactly like the work that you do. But also, like, when it comes down to, like, the basic idea, like, when I talk about merch, it's not like, you know, I've not invented stickers. There's only so many. Was that picnic table using Pride Rainbow? I mean, it was using rainbow. Not necessarily Pride, but I guess there is that message as well. The prompt had to do with, like, food security, community building, like, building bridges between different groups and what have you. It was, some of the tables are going to be placed in community gardens, so I wanted, like, the rainbow of food, but also the rainbow of people. And then because it's a set budget, right? So I don't have endless time to be painting detailed vegetables on a picnic table. So I figured instead of painting the vegetables all in full color and like trying to sort them by rainbow, which I've done in like my carrot painting, for example, that I was mentioning. In this case, I was just going to spray paint a rainbow. I suppose it ties in community nutrition mantras to eat the rainbow. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so like I'm not attaching an explicit explanation of, am I saying eat the rainbow, or am I talking about accept all rainbow of people, be it LGBTQ or, you know, rainbow of people as in like we all look different, we all are different. You know, rainbows have a lot of these meanings attached, and that's cool, and I mean all of them, but also like not any specific one more than others, if that makes sense. Less cold than saying eat a diverse array of phytonutrients. Yes, exactly. It's also just an easy way to, like, I find it's an easy way to like just make sure that I'm getting a variety of foods rather than like, you know, having to keep track of this contains this nutrient and this contains that nutrient. Like, you know what, if I'm eating a diet that is colorful, has a lot of fruits and veggies that come in different colors, and, you know, and I'm eating grains and stuff that are also colorful, like, probably I'm getting some good coverage there. So I find that useful for my own, you know, deciding how to feed myself. Sorry, I've got apparently some kind of a runny nose. This is interesting. I don't know if I've got allergies to something or what's going on. I'll be right back. Hey, buddy. So yeah, my next little bit of time, I am very much just gonna be focused on getting my On the Skin of Giants paintings done. So from now until the end of July, it's just pretty much just On the Skin of Giants. Like, I want to get this out of the way because I don't want to drop commissions again, and this I can just get done today, and then it just feels good. I'm gonna get this one and the other one done. But other than that, I'm just fully on stuff that I can exhibit at On the Skin of Giants, but then also looking at rebuilding merch. And so while I'm painting, Jordan's going to be working on some frames. Destiny's getting wood for... Destiny's sourcing all the different types of wood for my frames. And I'm hopefully going to get some high school co-op students again. So those are unpaid interns. They get a high school credit for doing a work placement. And apparently there's a lack of employers in the arts willing to take high school co-ops. So So we're in high demand, which is neat. And the summer co-op term conveniently ends like right at my gallery opening. So I'll be interviewing some high school co-ops next week. And so hopefully I will have co-op students who can package merch, work on shipping, and contact gift stores and stuff, and get some stuff selling while I'm working on just painting. So hopefully the next couple months I will just get to do a lot of painting while I have a staff of 3 working on all the other stuff. I think eat colorful is a great suggestion. My mother always said that food needs to be colorful, and industry-made stuff is so one color, beige. Yes. Yeah. So that tends to be, you know, my rules for myself is just, I don't worry too much about the exact specifics of what I'm eating, but I do try to make sure that it's got some variety of color in it, and I think that is a useful way to think about food. All right, well, I guess I will make some stickers. Maybe I'll post on Discord some choices I'm considering. Because I also just don't want to, like, make a million things, you know? Right now, I have a million daily leaf things, not a million, 200 and something daily leaves that are left over on my website, and that is a limited thing. Like, I feel like at some point I just need to I need to move on and take most of those down. I may keep one or two, but I feel like there is a point at which having like 300 items on your website is not helping you. Artificial scarcity and the like it's not. And it feels bad because, like, on the one hand, it's like, oh, I hate playing into these things, but I have to. There's a point at which, like, it makes my current product less valuable if there is 200 paintings sitting. Just because, you know, years ago, I made 200 paintings and didn't have the capacity to sell them. I mean, in my case, mostly just the like mental capacity, the energy required to post all of that and ship it. And, so, you know, that took years. And eventually took a high school co-op listing them all last year. And maybe this is another place where I can just, I want these, like this little green mossy stuff in more spots along here, so I'm just gonna put some in here too. I'm just trying to tie these three together, basically, so I want some more of the brown and some more of the green mossy stuff, and then I'll go back into these and tie the colors back the other way. Sorry, let me arrange these in a way that they show up on the screen. Like so, maybe. Is that visible? Everything's visible now? I am really liking this trio. I'm liking that this one is different, but I think I can just easily make it still fit in. The others are more brown, but the green fits in well. I don't think it's out of place. Yeah, the others are definitely more brown. Now I am going to add a little bit more brown in here in the colors of the mushrooms, but that'll help. I'm also going to go back and add a little bit of the more bluish tones that are in this one across the shadows in this one and these two, and I think that's also going to help tie them all together. I think it'll work fine. I think it'll be great. I'm pretty happy with it. Like, going back into this, I'm just going to add a little bit more of these tones in here. Just a tiny bit more of the darker bluer greens. It's super minor, but I think that just having like a little bit more of you know, bouncing the same colors off of all of them is just gonna make them all just tie in together that tiny bit better. So yeah, but then by the end of the day today I will have those, and then I can get them to Alicia and they can have their nice new art in the new house. Oh my goodness. I apparently have quite the runny nose. I don't know how that happened. I didn't think I was sick. Maybe that's why I was so tired. Maybe I'm actually sick. I don't like that idea. Okay, I need to go grab myself another tissue. I'm sorry. so I know. My nose is all ready for some reason. And I'm just gonna run to the washroom real quick. Be right back. Amber, good girl. Good girl. I'm sorry. Yep, so my nose has been... I reset my PC now, the usual pain to log back into Discord. Never comes to mind, but... Good luck with Discord. So I have been... I know, buddy. I know. You want to go outside. I know, Bug. I know. I know. I know, I know. I know, I know. Oh, I feel like I've got allergies, but I don't usually have seasonal allergies, so I don't... But, like, I've got a runny nose that feels like allergies. I do have allergies to other things, not... I don't have seasonal allergies. Usually, except apparently right now. Oh. Maybe it's new. I don't like this new. I don't like it. Take it back. I'm a plein air artist. I need to go outside. Okay, that is not the color I wanted. Hey, look, helpfully I've got some tissues here. Wish I could take it from you. No, you don't. You don't want these allergies. I'm gonna go get myself some more caffeine. Maybe caffeine will help. So I have embraced my caffeine addiction, but because coffee kind of upsets my gut, if I have too much of it, and I don't want to drink like energy drinks that are full of sugar or gross sweeteners that make me sick, I've been drinking these fizzy waters that just have bit of caffeine and a tiny bit of flavor. They don't have any sugar though. So it's caffeinated fizzy water. And it's probably not the healthiest thing in the world, but I have ADHD and caffeine actually works really well for me. And helps me deal with chronic fatigue. Hi Ember, what's up? Are you silly? Is there a silly Ember there? There's a silly Ember there. What's the silly Ember want? What does the silly Ember want? What do you want, silly Ember? You want outside. You do. What do I do about little girl? Oh, you want outside? Okay. I can send you outside, but I'm not going outside myself. Okay, I'll send you outside now. You want to go outside? You want to go outside? You're cute. Okay, sorry. I need to let my dog out now. Or get Jordan to let my dog out. Jordan, can you let this creature out? Hmm? Can you let creature out? Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Here now.
Go, Ember. Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Ember, come here.
Go, go, go. No, don't fetch me. Go get Daddy. Go. Go. You go. So what are you all up to? How goes the website reset and stuff, Lana?
Nope, sorry. Get this back on the frame. And you know what? I can just make that more of this brown, can't I? I can. If I just draw that in there, have this. Hooray! Whew. If someone named Stephen Quiller Lover ever joins your chat, that is also me. I feel like I might guess that. Like, I might just be like, I feel like I know you. I feel like you visited my studio at least once. It seems oddly familiar. Is that you, Steven? Is that you, or is that your new best friend? Yeah, so then if I go back to here, like I'm just sort of going back and forth a little bit at this point, because I'm just trying to get my colors just a little bit more tied in together. So I'm trying to get just a little bit more of these blue tones, a little bit of this granulation into here. But I think, yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Get a little bit more of those blue tones, and that also is going to like help cool down some of these because they just feel a little bit too warm. Then apparently I'm just going to have to keep on running an eraser over here. So the tape left a residue, and the two previous ones had this like weird residue because the tape was left on for too long. Which is the other reason why I want to finish this soon. Say something bad about Quiller and gauge the reaction, yes. And then I just need to, if I put in just a tiny bit more of my blues, feel like, not that there was a huge problem with how the color matching before, but having these colors just be bouncing off of each other really does help tie it all together, like they all belong to the same collection. And I feel like these other two, if anything, were just a little too warm, like there wasn't enough. They were a little unbalanced because they didn't have as much of a blue tone anywhere in them. And so I can just add a little bit of a bluey purple tone in these guys, and it'll just tie it back a little bit better to yes, 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 I love it. Okay. Alright, and so then there's these. And there's just, seems like it's turned. Then I'll turn these ones as well. Nope, a little much. we can do that here and in here. There. Is somebody using a table saw? Yes, my husband's making me some plein air kit in the workshop. Because this is now a whole family project. My art career is okay, so let's talk goals. My life right now is not, so one of my most popular videos to this day on my channel is like the second or third video I made was a how I became a natural science illustrator, and I still get like at least like once a month I'll get contacted by someone who wants career advice on how to break into the industry and how to be successful as an illustrator. And I have cultivated this look, I guess, of success where I don't call myself an amateur. I talk about the contracts and commissions that I get, and you know, all of that is true, but also, you know, for getting clients, you want to be successful. You don't want, like, people don't want to hire someone who comes off as like an amateur who doesn't have any experience in the industry, right? My presentation has always been a little bit more successful than I actually am. And then I was actually beginning to do pretty okay circa like 2019. Not like I was super duper successful, but you know, I was making a few $1,000s every month on various income streams. And I sorry, what was I saying? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I still get brain fog where I completely lose my thoughts. Oh goodness. Chronic illness sucks. Right, I got chronically ill and I stopped doing much for my career for about 3 years on and off. There were some spots where I started getting active again, but basically partway through the pandemic I sort of collapsed. We're still figuring out all the things that fed into that. I know some, but the problem with being a freelance artist, I mean, there's a lot of problems. It is not, even if you can get your career going, which is, you know, it takes some doing, there is absolutely no health insurance. There's no safety net. And I have not been a model of
success. It makes me kind of uncomfortable that people are asking me about how to be successful, because I'm not. Because I've been, you know, especially given chronic illness, you do not want, this is not success, you do not want this career, in as much as, wait, you can't have health insurance as a freelance artist? I mean, you can buy health insurance. Sorry, okay, let me separate out a few things, because this depends a lot on where you live and how different programs are distributed. So in Canada, we have provincially funded healthcare that is public. So if I need to go to the hospital or I need a doctor's appointment, that is always covered. It doesn't matter if I'm working, where I'm working, that is absolutely, I just have a health card that gets me basic health care. There's a lot of things that our provincial healthcare system does not cover. So, for example, if I want to get my eyes checked, or I want to do physiotherapy that isn't in a hospital setting, so it's not like surgical recovery, just like I need to strengthen my legs to be more stable, if I need dental care, if I want massage therapy, if I want like any kind of, I guess, more luxury care, as well as even things like medicine, like prescriptions. Our prescriptions are cheaper than in the States. Like in the US, they get hosed. They get charged way, 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 way more. The provincial government does group buy. They negotiate the price of prescriptions. So our prescriptions are much cheaper, but if I get a prescription from a doctor, I still have to go to a pharmacy and buy it. Most people who work in like professional industries with a larger employer get private healthcare. So, and that's a group insurance plan. So, I actually do have health coverage through my husband's work. So some of the things that the government doesn't pay for, I get through my husband's work. I don't personally have my own health coverage, like extended health coverage. So we're depending on my husband working basically for a larger employer in order to have that. It is possible to individually buy health coverage, but it's very expensive, because if you're buying it individually, they look at your individual health situation and they'll price accordingly. So really the only way to get like affordable health coverage, especially if you have any kind of known health issues, is through a group system where you're getting that bulk rate through an employer. But there's other things, like I don't pay my mortgage. I have a beautiful studio outside of home, as well as a house and a home studio that I'm filming in right now. And I have videos on my channel showing those spaces, and it gives the impression like, oh yes, I'm a professional artist, here's the work that I do, and here's how I live. And people make that connection between like, oh, you have a really beautiful life, and here's what you do for work. And those two things are not connected. I've made negative money over the past 3 years. That I've not always made negative money. Right now it's turning back around, and hopefully I'll be making positive money. I also have an assistant though. I pay my assistant. And I pay my assistant right now. I'm not paying my mortgage. My studio is paid for because I built up a co-op studio around me, and my studio mates subsidize my offsite studio, so I have 2 studios and I pay for neither of them. And on top of it, I have this assistant who I pay some of her income, but honestly, most of her pay has been, again, Jordan. So, like, it's difficult presenting this view of success, and it's like, it's not, while at no point lying about here's what I do and here's, the sorts of things that are available in the industry and what have you. It's like, yeah, and if you ever have a stumble and you don't have a safety net, this is not, first of all, my income has never paid for my lifestyle. I've always had a much larger second income. My art income has never paid for my lifestyle. At one point, I was the primary income in the house, but not as an artist. Anyway, Jordan wants children, and he wants to take parental leave, and that's another thing where parental leave is covered to some extent. Our provincial government covers, you can take up to 16 months, but they will pay for a non-birthing parent, so that's Jordan, he's not going to give birth. They will pay up to 8 months, 55% of your income, but up to a cap. And it's a low cap, so it is only about 30% of Jordan's income that they would pay, and it would not cover our mortgage and our basic expenses. So that's what the government provides. Again, then most employers top it up, but for fathers, as it turns out, for non-birthing parents, many employers do not offer, they'll offer matching, but they won't offer matching for as long as they would for a mother. Because a lot of companies here are US based, so while they do adapt their benefits a little bit, while they do adapt their benefits a tiny bit, they don't adapt their benefits enough. So even though the provincial legislation, the majority of parental leave is regardless of which parent, there's maternity and pregnancy leave that is separate, but there's 8 months, and you can take it over up to 18 months of coverage. It's very low, so people depend on their employers. Jordan's employer does not really cover that much. And that's not an uncommon thing, so while he might, he can look for other alternatives, that might not be super effective. So anyway, my goal, I would really like him to be able to take his full parental leave. I would like him to be able to take 14 months, which is the extended deal. I would like him to take 14 months. I would like him to take 18 months, but realistically, at the very start, I would be taking time anyway. I don't get
pregnancy or parental, because I'm self-employed, because I don't pay in, so I don't pay into it. So I don't get income from the government, but that's fine. But then I would like Jordan to take parental. But if Jordan is taking parental, somebody has to be earning the income. So our goal is within a year, building up my art career to where I'm able to make up the difference between Jordan's current income and those are calculated risks with being self-employed. Yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely, those are calculated risks. And I don't have any regrets about my choices, but my choices are made based on, first of all, I mean, I have chronic health issues. If I can't work, I can't work, right? And like my ability to work is very variable. So I would rather be doing something that, you know, when I'm feeling up to it, I can do some stuff at home and scale according to my ability. It's better than doing nothing and depending on government or you know, spousal support. But then also the other thing with that is like, I've made this choice, but I've made this choice knowing who I'm married to, right? Like, it's not that, like, I have no regrets about my life, but in terms of how it's presented, I mean, yeah, I am going to show my studio, and it's very real. That is very real, my studio. But, like, if you're seeing those videos without context, it looks like, yeah, I have this beautiful life and I pay for it with art. And that's not true. It's just not true. And so it's like, you know, it's not, I don't want to be dishonest, I don't want to whatever. And so when people contacted me, I'm very upfront about that, but it's this weird presentation thing where it's like, okay, well, I guess I just need to, like, make some content to point people at to, like, make this a little bit more explicit that, like, you know, just, it's not an option for everyone. It's not, like, it's not gonna look, you know, you're not gonna build my life with my income. Those two things are not related. Anyway, they're not related right now, but we are on a more, you know, working towards it note, trying to, over the course of the next year or so, scale up to where my income does support us. And Jordan is very much participating in that activity. So that's what our table saw noises are, is he's making the frames for my On the Skin of Giants pieces that are going to be exhibited, as well as some plein air equipment for me. I feel so many artists have chronic illness. Yeah, I feel, I wonder about a lot of these connections, where it's like creative careers and being a entrepreneur. They're connected to ADHD, they're connected to autism, they're connected to, all of these things are connected to chronic illness. And specifically, like, some of the chronic illnesses that
I have. Like, I feel like there's less of a connection maybe between things like being an artist and diabetes, or being an artist and limb differences, whereas there's a huge connection between being an artist and chronic fatigue, or ME, or being an artist and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is what I have. That sounds exciting. I can show you some of it. So, one moment. So part one of my plein air equipment here is this guy. So this fits into the swivel mount at the top of an easel, or at the top of a, a tripod. Like a regular this is like a regular, like, cold shoe. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a video where I demonstrate this stuff. And then this holds, because I paint on panels mostly, it's going to hold my panels directly, like so. Like, if I take this, I can put my panel right in here. Sorry, I'm gonna need to, right, so this goes in here. If I painted on paper, I would need a panel support to clip it onto. But anyway, so this can be transported with just like a photography tripod, which is a lot lighter than like a plein air easel usually. So there's this, and then right now he's building me a tray for my watercolors and stuff. Yeah. So Jordan's getting in on supporting my art career, like directly getting involved with it, because that is our, I mean, plan is maybe a bit of a strong word. We will have to see how my health treats me, but on the assumption that actually a lot of the like serious health issues that I faced in the last little while, we do have we've come up with some better understanding and treatments for, and that I will hopefully be okay if we can fund him taking some time to be a dad, like ideally 14 to 18 months, then that would be great. But that requires my income to go from low to a lot higher. Because right now I'm not even covering my own assistant. And yeah, I'm really lucky that that's not just a me thing. Jordan understands that that is not a, like, this is for him, and it's not, you know, non-trivial as a goal. So he's been working really hard on helping however he can with my stuff. And so, yeah, I'm going out to this residency for almost 3 weeks. 2 weeks on Porphyry Island, plus we're doing a bit of camping before. Destiny and I, not Jordan. Jordan doesn't like camping. And I am taking along some... Why is this not working? Little. Do not like this pen. This is like a knockoff TWSBI. Not a TWSBI. And not nearly as good at ink flow. The feed on this pen is just not great. Cafe watercolor plein air sketcher by LEU. She has a very nice style, mix of loose and detail, thin, thick paint, low, high chroma. Yeah, cool. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Anyway, so yeah, so Jordan is doing a lot of home renovation in general, including a lot of like woodworking, building our washroom cabinets and stuff, but then given some of my work goals, he's also been very, very involved with building stuff for my art things. Oh, I'm so happy with this piece though. This is really making me, this is making me so pleased. Like, I'm so happy with this. Okay, sorry. I need to let my dog in. Okay, I need to let my dog in, but you get to watch the cat while I do that because he's just loud. Oh, no, you don't want to be on camera? Okay, I have a lot of demanding animals. Wow! You want food? Of course you want food. You always want food. What's up, Ember? Are you a silly girl? You're just so silly. You're just so silly. What do I do with the silly girl? What do I do with you? Oh my goodness, Ember, you're just so loud. Why so loud? Why are you so loud? So loud. Bro. Ember down. Good girl. Good girl.
little bit more lifting out here because that's a little too much. And then this weekend or on Monday, depending on whether I can figure out how to do all the Shopify things or whether I need either this weekend or on Tuesday. Hi. I will be Ember releasing the pre-order for my Are You Afraid of Watercolor course, which I'll be running starting in July, mid-July. And that's the only thing I'll be running through the summer, but then Ember, shh, quiet, Ember down. Good girl. But then in the fall, I'll be running 2 courses. So Are You Afraid of Watercolor? I'll be running online and in person, I believe. Although I am also considering whether I just want to run it only online to start. Maybe I'll do that. That is... So, I think I've mentioned structure in the past is I wanted to do online and in person and have you know what, maybe online only works best for now. Sorry, I'm thinking aloud. Here's what's going on. So for my courses, I've run in-person courses, which I really loved, and I've done one-on-one coaching online, which is also fun. And so I am planning on offering one of the courses that I ran online. I'm adapting to running, one of the courses that I offered in person, I'm adapting to running online. So I'll be making video content and adding some material to the written material, like the written course notes, and then have weekly released assignments and in person and one-on-one feedback available. But then I kind of wanted to have it, like I wanted to do an online and in person so that I could do, have a
a Discord group discussion where people who did have the benefit of being in person can still post their stuff online, and then there will be creates an opportunity for interaction between students and connects the in-person experience back to the online experience and makes it a little bit better for everyone, I hope. That's my hope. And so I was hoping to have both be available for starting in July, but because I have my show opening, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed about running in-person classes, because it's a time and space commitment, like in terms of having to be at the studio and, create space there. And I feel like it's going to cut into those days of work if it's very structured that way versus, I'm happy to interact with people online, and that's material that I've already started working on. So maybe it makes more sense to delay the in-person things, because I also was talking to some of my studio mates who want to start their in-person offerings starting in the fall to match up with like the school year. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll release my courses online first. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Thanks everyone for listening to my yammering about my own work. But anyway, so I've been like super active the last little while, since adjusting my prescription about 6 weeks ago, getting back into video and tough decisions. Yeah, so I don't want to delay releasing that because honestly because income, because I really do need to start bringing in money to pay for my assistant, who I need to keep doing work and have my life. But just because, painting is lovely and important, and ultimately, that's what the career is, but painting big pieces in my studio has a long lead time, and applying to grants has a long lead time, so I need something that's a little bit more immediate. So I'm going to go back to teaching, but I still need time to paint for this show that is coming up very soon now. Oh boy. Oh, sorry. Online courses, yes. The material will be up forever. And then I'll just, over time, as I develop the course and I get feedback from people, obviously, like, videos will change. I'll add in material, but those resources I plan to just have available forever. And so, first of all, a lot of the work is already done because I already developed the courses for in-person, right? So it's not, there's some adaptation, there's some video content that I need to create, but it's not, they all have their color palettes, especially in nature. There's so much to see. Yeah, so it's not like releasing the course now prevents me from also using it in fall. Like, I'll still have another session in fall, right? Like, I've got it as a 6-week course currently. I may actually expand to 8 weeks, but currently I've got a 6-week course. But then, yeah, like I'll run it once, but then I'll run it again. I hope Jordan's getting that door. My doorbell just rang. Is Jordan getting it? Jordan's getting it. Okay, maybe I'm getting the doorbell. One moment. Door-to-door sales. You might well have the same doorbell. Our doorbell, we've had for, it came with the house. And I imagine it was mass-produced and sold all over the world. What's up, Amber? What's up? What's up? He lives in the area, and he knows that I'm Oh my good. Amber, if you want in, come on in. Come on. No, I know you want food, but you're gonna have to wait because I'm doing a stream. I have to work, buddy. Some of us have to work. Probably the phone line I have also has every shop and restaurant around, all the same sound. Yep. Yep. Yeah, our house is not, doesn't have any, like, there's no, like, fancy, you know, it's very much a working class, 1925 house, and the people who previously owned it also did not, were not, you know, they customized it, but not in a, there's nothing here that's, you know, wildly unusual. Except, I mean, maybe some of the stuff we put in, but, like, even then, we put in a whole bunch of IKEA before Jordan got into woodworking more seriously. So, like, yes, recently there's been, like, you know, Jordan started building some furniture, so like our washroom now has some built-ins that Jordan built that a little bit more unique, but most of this house is, all the stuff in here is just very much, you'll find it all over the world. Lana, I thought it was your kitchen. I don't know in your current place or like if you've moved at all, but there was when we redid our kitchen, I think you showed a picture, and it's like, it's a very different kitchen, like very different size, but very different size and layout, but like chose all the same finishes from IKEA, like they look very much the same. Yes, we have the same IKEA kitchen, right, yeah. There you go. So when I come to visit, because, you know, that would be real nice if I can get some residency or something near you. Feel right at home. Or you can come here. Got any plans to come to Canada? We could have a little, like, pigment nerd conference. Love to. Yes. We'll just have to figure out our little, like, pigment nerd content creator conference. That could be fun. Everyone come here, come visit the studio. Then you can come here, you'll feel right at home, because we've got all the same stuff. You promised me a place to stay in your basement once. Yes. So, right now my basement is completely unfinished and you don't want to stay there, but if you give me a rolling 10 months, our basement's going to be beautiful. We just finished the upstairs washroom, and we're going to, you know, basement's coming up soon, and we'll finish that up. And it's going to be gorgeous. We've got the flooring. You'll have your own ensuite washroom. Right now we can offer the couch. Well, I mean, honestly, right now that's probably a little better than what I can offer, because right now our couch is in our dining room pushed up against the table, because our living room right now is the workshop where you hear Jordan running a table saw. So you do not want to sleep in our living room right now. It is full of sawdust and power tools. But the house is definitely big enough that we have had guest rooms, and we will have guest rooms again. Our basement has we're splitting up the basement. So half the basement is going to be Jordan's workshop, and then the other half beside the basement washroom will be like a family room, guest room. So we'll have a guest bed. We're actually, I mean, it'll still be a couch most of the time, but what we're doing is we're getting two single beds, so we can make, like, if you push them together, it turns into a king bed. We're getting two single beds and like making them into a couch sectional. I'm super anxious and never want to be a burden, so I probably would get a hotel room. Okay, if I have the space for you, I will absolutely insist that you stay. If I don't, I will direct you to a nearby hotel. But in my 20s, I'd taken anything that was couch surfing a lot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, as a broke 20-something? Oh man. And like, I'd stay, like I took, at one point I was working at this company, and I attended, I was my friend's maid of honor in New York, and like, I usually stay with her when I visit, right? That makes sense, because New York is expensive. I don't want to pay a hotel in New York. So I went to her house, but then I didn't want to, like, it just felt weird to, like, go for her wedding, go be her maid of honor, and then crash on her couch in her one-bedroom apartment on her wedding night. Like, that just seemed wrong somehow. And she was like, I don't know I'd like, why not? Just stay on my couch. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I was going to, like, I was going to get a hotel, and then I had a coworker who was like, do you need a place to stay? My brother has a spare room. So and this was a coworker, like, he didn't even work on the same team as me. It was like some coworker who I had, you know, I talked to a few times, like, we weren't close. It wasn't even like a close friend's brother. It was like some coworker who I barely knew, his brother, and so has a place in Brooklyn. So yeah, so then I stayed a few nights with like, in exchange for dinner and a nice card, I stayed for a few nights with my coworker's brother in Brooklyn, so that my best friend could have a wedding night. Anyway, yeah, for your own comfort, I would not recommend staying at my house right now. I mean, for your own comfort, but honestly, also for mine. But generally, I really love hosting. I'm really looking forward to having my space back for that. And yeah, so if you come in a few months, you know, if you came right now, yeah, I'd direct you to a hotel. But you can trust that if I invite you to stay, it's because I want you there, not like I'm never gonna feel forced. Like, unless you're my mother, there's very little way that you are able to, like, push in and invite yourself over if you are not welcome. You know, family has a special way of doing things. When I went to my cousin's wedding, I slept on the floor of her new husband's parents' floor. Yeah, so that was the other interesting thing, was I got there, and so, like, my friend had gotten married sort of, like, she was planning a wedding, and then she ended up getting married in, like, a very short notice in a very small ceremony because of immigration issues. So, so actually, I was in Brooklyn, and then, like, the day after her wedding, I walked from where I was staying to, like, the Brooklyn Botanical Garden, where she was planning on maybe having her, like, proper wedding. She ended up not having the proper wedding at all. Like, that ended up just not happening. She lost interest at some point soon after her like, wedding ceremony. But her husband, she was ill. Her husband, things happened. Her husband came over, then we went to the Brooklyn Botanical Garden to scope it out for a wedding, which was also interesting because it was me and her husband going to this place and taking pictures and whatever. And so then the assumption was, of course, that I was the bride, because usually the bride goes to see wedding venues. But no, in this case, this is the groom and the maid of honor, and no bride here. I'm pretty sure I'm not your mother. I am pretty sure you are not my mother as well. It is, I said it's kind of impossible to push in, like, you know, I am not the type to be, pushed into this stuff, and then I realized that there is an exception. There's a certain, like, level of family thing that, you know, you feel the need to accommodate families sometimes, even when they have ideas that are not really accommodatable. But that is not you. When I went to my cousin's wedding in Brazil, okay, and I say cousin's wedding, and this is where this story starts, is that I say cousin's wedding, but she's not my cousin. She's my cousin's cousin. But, you know, in Brazil, that's all the same. Like, cousin's cousin, doesn't matter, still your cousin. And in fact, she's not even my cousin's cousin, she's my mom's cousin's cousin. So there's a generational gap there. She's closer to my age, but she's my mom's generation. Anyway, I was doing this internship in Brazil, so I was getting in touch with family, including my cousin, as in my mom's cousin. And so I got in touch, you know, I'm going to be arriving this day, whatever. And my cousin says, oh, well, you have to come to Ana Carolina's wedding. You have to come to my cousin's wedding.
And I was like, okay, sure. And so it turns out the wedding is like the weekend after I arrived. So I arrived on a Wednesday and the wedding was on the Saturday. And Brazil is a big country. Brazil is kind of like Canada scale. And I was staying just outside of São Paulo, and this wedding was in Londrina, some 700 kilometers away. And so, okay, well, I guess, yeah, I can like get a bus and go down to Londrina. So I was doing this internship. I start work. And so I mentioned that my coworkers are asking about, my plans. Oh, you have family here, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you gonna travel? Are you? And I said, well, actually, yeah. So I have family, like, where's your family in Brazil? And okay, you have some family like in town. Do you have whatever? Where is everyone? And I brought up, well, actually, so this weekend, I have my cousin's cousin has her wedding in Londrina. My cousin is insisting that I have to come, so I need to figure out how to get to Londrina this weekend. Like, what are the buses like? And my coworker, I might need to take off a little early on Friday or something. Is like a day. Well, right. So I thought like, oh goodness, like this is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have to leave early on Friday and then take a bus and I'll arrive the next morning. Like that's, and then come back. Like, so part of it, I was just really just like telling my coworkers, like, I don't know, I might just end up being, like I might need some time off. I just got here, but I have to attend this cousin's wedding. And my coworker, this is very much like, okay, well, welcome to Brazil and welcome to the family. My coworker says, well, I have a friend who drives down there every weekend. Like, he drives down there every weekend? That's a little far to drive down every weekend. Well, he has a girlfriend there. Okay. All right, yeah, I'll ask him if he's going down, and probably I can get you a ride. I'm like, all right, sure. So I get a ride with this guy, which was an experience. I just call that a cultural experience. We left slightly early on Friday. We left at like 3:30 p.m. and got there in 5.5 hours. So you do the math on the average speed we were traveling at, given that we also stopped for dinner. So on the bright side, I got there nice and like never have I ever traveled such a distance in such a short time. Even flying takes longer because of all the time at the airport. It was wild. I may be overestimating what's 700 kilometers. It might be closer to 600, but like, would be 700 if it was the bus, because, bus routes, and I'd have to detour to São Paulo and what have you.
Yeah, no, so I mean, it took almost 6 hours. Like, it was like, we left at 3:30. We were on the road by about 4. And then okay, so the bride's sister, so also my cousin's cousin, so then I get back to my cousin, okay, so I'm getting this ride, so I'll be there in the evening. And he says, okay, great. Like, I'll be there late evening, like late night. Okay, great. The bride's sister is having this barbecue, like this like barbecue party thing with the family the night before. So you can attend that. And I was like, well, I really did not think that I was going to, like, I was like, I'm going to arrive in the middle of the night. Like, this is not. And, oh, no, it's not so far. Because, driving like maniacs is actually fairly common in Brazil. So, and I get that in Germany you can do this somewhat legally in places with, like, because you have highways that don't have speed limits on them. That is not the case in Brazil. There's speed limits, it's just that nobody listens to them. Nobody actually follows them. So this is a this is a highway with a speed limit of 110 kilometers an hour. No, we were not traveling at 110 kilometers an hour. Like, we were traveling a lot faster than that. It was like closer to like 140 on average. And certainly there were times where it was like 200 is a little much. Can we go a little bit? Can we slow down just a tad? I'm concerned that we might take off. To be fair, even when there are speed limits, people drive faster. I mean, that's everywhere, but usually it's like we have speed limits here of like 100, 110, and people will drive 120, not 180. I drive usually 130, 140. What's the usual speed limit? I mean, we did really beat traffic, right? Because by driving that fast and I'm technically a slow driver. Okay, well, that is different, because I feel like 130, 140 would be fast on our highways. Like, definitely it happens. Definitely people do hit 140, but like, we have a recommended speed of 130. Okay, so that is different. Like, here, Stephen confirmed for me, but I don't think we really have. Here, 50k over will get your car impounded and license suspended. Well, or at least some serious demerits. You're not insured because insurance sees as speeding and chances of survival are low. Right. So, yeah, so speed limits here are usually like 100, 110. I think I've seen 120, but like nothing that says, like, we never have like recommended speed 130. It's like our highways will say 100 or 110, and then, yeah, the 401 is 110. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've seen over 120 anywhere. Yeah, I've seen 120 a couple of places, but like, I don't think I've ever seen 130. And like 100 or 110 is more common. Yeah, I've never seen over 120. Okay. Depending on the speed limits can be like it's 60 to 80, where there are many connections or curves, it's 100 to 120. Have the general recommended speed. Yeah, okay. So there's always a speed limit here. Like we don't have any roads that don't have speed limits. There's always a speed limit, and it's usually in the like low hundreds. Like, I mean, sorry, like within the city, it's much lower, but highways. Can go from no speed limit to 100 pretty fast though. Yeah, so but this is in Brazil, and honestly, like most highways there, the speed limit, it'll be absurd where the speed limit will say 90 or 100, and like you look at the free flow speed and it's like nobody here is going under 130. Like, why do you even bother with the speed limit? Nobody's following. In Canada, like, there are speed limits. They're not high. Yes, nobody actually drives the speed limit. You know, the speed limit might say 100, but, like, free flow traffic speed is 120. However, in Canada, if you're going 140, like you're a speed demon on the highway, and in Brazil, not so much. Although I was driving with a speed demon, even by Brazilian standards, it was a little crazy. Anyway, so I arrive at my cousin's barbecue, where they are still grilling meat at, 9:30, 10 or something. And yeah, stayed at the bride's sister's house. And again, just like, oh yeah, just show up. Your cousin's cousins. But yeah, teens and 20s, I'd sleep pretty much anywhere. Just, why would I pay for? Okay, and then let's peel this off. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, not quite liking how much paper is coming off with this. It's annoying, but okay, still too much paper coming up. Life felt simpler. So you were fully on time. Oh yeah, I was fully on time. Like, I showed up like right for the peak thing, and then attended the wedding, slept in the next day, went out for lunch, had a whole day, and then drove back and had a full night's sleep. It was wild. Yeah. So then I can get a proper look at how it all looks together, and then make a few little changes to all of them, and then it's ready to go. So if I take this, Yeah, so I think the other two just need a little bit more work on the blues. Just get some of the deepest colors in. But then I think it all matches up nicely. I'm going to take a short break at this point, I think. And then I'm going to finish this all up on my own. And then, yeah. I think that's great. I'm pretty happy with these. It's nice to have stuff done. Yeah, so just a tiny little bit of fixing up, and then, yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.